Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the single most powerful force for building wealth, a principle that Warren Buffett lives by. It's a concept so simple that most people just completely overlook it, but it's literally the engine behind almost every great fortune. This quote from Buffett himself, it really cuts right to the heart of it all. What he's telling us is that real investing, it has nothing to do with quick flips or trying to time the market. Nope, it's all about the long game. If you can't commit to a decade, you haven't really grasped how wealth is built. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But, okay, before you can even think about investing for that long, you've got to lay the groundwork. And it all starts with one fundamental rule. It has nothing to do with stocks or fancy analysis, but everything, and I mean everything, to do with your daily habits. So many people think that getting rich means you need a massive salary, right? But the real secret, the absolute bedrock of Buffett's entire philosophy is way simpler. Wealth isn't about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. You could earn a huge salary and still be broke if you spend it all. This one habit, creating that gap between what comes in and what goes out, is the non-negotiable starting point. Now look at this. It's a simple change in order, but it is profound. Most people, they earn their money, they spend it, and then they try to save whatever's left, which, let's be honest, is usually nothing. Wealthy people just flip it. They earn their money, and the very first thing they do is save or invest a piece of it. They pay their future selves first. Spending is what they do with the rest, not the other way around. So once you've got that first rule down, you have the fuel for your journey, your savings. Now let's talk about the engine that turns that fuel into incredible wealth. This is the concept that Albert Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding is actually pretty simple to understand. It's your money making money. And then that money goes out and makes even more money. It's a chain reaction. You're not just earning returns on your initial investment, you're earning returns on your returns. You can see how it works right here. That first year, the gain is pretty small. But then that gain gets added to the pot, making the starting amount for year 2 a little bigger. So the next gain is bigger, and the one after that is even bigger. The growth isn't a straight line. It's a curve that gets steeper and steeper. It accelerates all by itself. This is the absolute best way to picture compounding. Imagine a tiny little snowball at the top of a really long hill. As it starts to roll, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and moving faster and faster. Give it enough time, and it becomes this massive, unstoppable force. Now, for that snowball to get truly huge, what does it need more than anything else? A very, very long hill. In the world of investing, that hill is time, and it is your single most powerful asset, way more important than how much money you start out with. Let's look at a super clear example. We've got two people. Person A starts investing a certain amount every month at age 20. Person B invests the exact same amount, but they wait until they're 30 to start. The only difference is that one 10-year delay. The results 40 years down the line are just mind-blowing. Person A, just by starting 10 years earlier, ends up with dramatically more wealth. The lesson here is crystal clear. Those first 10 years, when the gain seemed kind of small and insignificant, they were actually the most powerful years of all. That decade of early compounding is an advantage you can never get back. And honestly, this is where most people fail. They get impatient, the growth at the beginning feels painfully slow, so they give up, or they start chasing some risky get-rich-quick scheme. They just don't get that the really explosive growth happens way down the line. I mean, think about it. Over 90% of Warren Buffett's wealth was earned after he turned 50. He just gave his snowball the longest hill he possibly could. But what's really fascinating is that this powerful principle, it's not just about money. Compounding is like a law of the universe, and you can see it working in almost every part of your life, from your skills to your mindset. Think about it, reading just 10 pages a day. It's a tiny act. But over a decade, that compounds into a massive library of knowledge in your head. Practicing an instrument for 30 minutes a day feels like nothing, but over years it leads to mastery. And just like Buffett says, even the people you hang out with will compound. They'll either lift you up or drag you down. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually put it to work? How do you get your own snowball rolling like today? Well, the process is surprisingly simple. First, just start. Seriously, even a tiny amount is infinitely better than nothing. Second, be consistent. I mean, relentlessly consistent. Automate your savings so it just happens. Third, and this is the hardest one, you gotta be patient. Think in decades, not days. And finally, reinvest everything. Let every single bit of earnings go back to work for you. So, the most important thing to walk away with is this: you don't need to be rich to start compounding, but you absolutely must start compounding if you ever hope to become rich. This incredible force of nature is available to all of us. The only real question is, what are you going to start compounding today?